Hi, my name is Gary Harper. I am a personal and business coach for real estate professionals. Today's episode is on leading others. Now, I felt it was important to talk about this topic today because people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So it's our job and our greatest gift to our people to be a leader that can be a good example. 89% of how we learn today is visual. 89% of the people online, as I should say, watch YouTube to learn nowadays. What an incredible stat. You know, we don't the way we want to fix a car, the way we fix something in our house. Just a week ago, I had to fix my stove, and the way I learned how to fix it was pulling up YouTube. I wanted to learn visually, and that's how people learn this day and age. Especially millennials, they like to learn visually, and so they're learning from you. They're learning from you by watching you. You have to take responsibility for the way you teach people, and it's not just on our words, but the way we act and the way we look and the way we lead creates a picture for them to follow. Not only are you creating a visual picture for followers, you want to have leaders who believe that in actions that line up to those beliefs. So it's our job as leaders to be fair. We have to be fair to everybody. Treat everyone as equals. You can't treat anyone better than the other. You have to treat everybody equally. You can't pick favorites in your business. You have to make sure that it's equal across the board. You can't allow gossip, and as a leader yourself, you can't gossip. You can't go around talking about other people and your employees behind their back and creating gossip around it. And then I'll tell you, leaders, you have to defend the weakest link. And when I say that, to defend the weakest person in your staff. Whenever you have an outsider and people seem to pick on them or they're pushing them away, you have to defend that. You have to bring them into the team and make sure they feel welcomed. You have to show respect. Number 2 is showing respect. And you always have to give it. You have to give respect first. You have to command respect. You can't demand respect. You have to command it by your actions and the way you approach things. Then you have to always listen. Number 3 is listening. I have an open door, easy access policy. Whether you are a customer, employee, my kids, my wife, you at any time have access to me. And I want to make sure I'm available to you. And so I have an open door policy. If the door's shut, that's only because I'm in a meeting. But if it's open, or if I'm doing anything, I make sure the door's open for people to access me. You have to make the concerns of your staff and your employees a priority. Write it down. Make notes when they're talking to you. Many times, I teach a senior seminar class. And many times seniors will come up and they'll stand next to me and they'll start to ask me questions. They'll start to tell me about where they want to go and what they want to do with their lives. You know, I'll say, just a second. I'll grab a pen and I'll start to write down what they say. Why is that? I want to make sure that they feel that what they're saying is extremely important to me. Also, it helps me to write down and retain the information of what they're saying so that I can give great feedback. Many times I'll write it down and say, give me a second just to review what you said. Or sometimes I'll come back later on and say, listen, I want to really digest what you said and think about it. And I wrote it down here, so give me a day to do that, and I'll come back and talk to you more about it. And that allows me to really, really show interest in what their topic is. And they respect that. And they as a leader, that encourages them that I'm willing to listen to them. You have to make sure that you pay attention to the details as well when you're listening. What seems insignificant to you may be very significant to them. So it's very, very important that you understand the details of what they're saying. And writing those things down will help. Then solicit feedback. Ask them if you understood them properly. Many times one of the best effective listening skills is to say, so what I heard you say was this. Or what you said or what I understood you to say is that. And when you do that and you get validation that you've heard them correctly, boy, that really, really shows great listening skills. Next thing I want to talk to you about as a leader is giving praise and the importance of giving praise. Be sincere when you give praise. Don't just say, hey, good job. You know, give them a good job, but also give them an example of how they did a good job. Give them an example of how they went above and beyond, or how they stepped outside the box, or how creative they were. And do it often. Don't just do it on annual review basis or on quarterly reviews or when you're sitting down for scheduled review. I love to give out praise. I love just to look across the room, see somebody doing something right, and give out the praise. A lot of times in town hall meetings on a weekly basis, the leaders of the organizations I work with, I encourage them to give out praise at that time. And then I also ask the people around them to share in that praise of that employee, to give constructive and kudos feedback to people that they work with, to be able to praise them as well. The last thing I'll talk to you about with giving praise is that emotional paycheck. The importance of the emotional paycheck. Why is that so important? So many people will stay within a job, even when they don't feel like they're compensated at the level they want to be at. They'll stay just for that emotional paycheck. You say to me today, what is an emotional paycheck? Well, it's easy. It's a pat on the back. It's the encouraging word. It's telling them how awesome they are. It's those words of encouragement and sincerity. Those are all emotional paychecks. And so leaders today, you can choose to pay a little bit more to keep somebody, or you can choose to pay somebody maybe more that's in line with what you can afford, and they'll stay with you just because of the emotional paycheck. People leave their jobs more often because of the culture and the atmosphere than they do the pay. It's important that we hand them out regularly. Set standards for your employees. Make sure you explain the benefits of those standards and why you have those standards. As a leader, it's our job to not only to give encouraging words and everything I've talked about to this point, but it's also our job to hold them accountable and set standards as good leaders. We have to reinforce those standards though once we set them and make sure that everyone is doing it right. And give them the tools to succeed. Give them an employee handbook. Give them quarterly reviews. Give them annual reviews to make sure that they know what they need to do to do better or to succeed. The last part is having that accountability. And boy, accountability is so important. See, without accountability, complacency sets in. And with complacency, you start to have death. Death of careers, death of companies even. And so we want to make sure we augment that complacency in our business with the right accountability. Hold them accountable. We do this regularly in a weekly meeting where we come together in a high-level meeting and we hold the people accountable within that department of what we expected them to get done on a weekly basis. And this doesn't have to be done in a demeaning way. This could be done in a very encouraging way. It could also be done in a way where you're helping each other to get things done. But ultimately, at the end of the day, the accountability is still there. You're still holding the process or the person accountable to what you need. And then don't miss the opportunity through the accountability to come back around to that emotional paycheck. It's so important to always end with that. So if you are applying accountability in your business today, you see that they're succeeding, they're doing what you need them to do, they're excited about their job, and they're doing it well, say, attaboys. That's a great job. I'm so proud of you. Whatever those words are for you today, make sure you're sharing them and make sure you're leading others the right way. I hope these episodes are helping you today. I hope that you can go now and become a better leader of people. They are a product. They're our most important product. They're our most costly product. Why not do it right? Thanks for watching.